Chosen one, this transfer is huge. God just approved it. This is not a random moment. This is not a coincidence. You've been guided here by something divine, something so far beyond the ordinary understanding of time, space, and logic that only your spirit could sense the pull of it. You are here because something massive has just been released in your name. Something that had been held in the heavens, locked behind layers of resistance, is now on its way to you. It's not a theory. It's not speculation. It's approval. Divine approval. God has looked over everything, seen your process, witnessed the battles, the sacrifices, the long nights and longer prayers, and finally said, "Now. Not later. Not someday. Now. Watch this video until the end. And in the comments, write your warmest wishes and write Amen, along with the number 777. Because this is more than just another message. This is a prophetic spark, activating something powerful in the unseen. What you send into the atmosphere, your hope, your expectancy, your words, all of it begins to shape what comes back to you. This is the space where wishes transform into movements. This is the chapter where energy awakens the waiting miracles. The universe is listening. The heavens are responding. And this is the hour where your name is on the approval. Now, chosen one, press the hype button and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. There's been a spiritual holding pattern around your life, not because you were disqualified, but because the stage had to be built for something that could actually carry the weight of your calling. God was never going to hand you scraps. He wasn't going to give you a good enough version of your destiny. He designed the exact right moment, and now it has arrived. You're walking into the aftermath of divine authorization. You're walking into the moment where all of heaven says yes to what you've been waiting for. And this transfer, oh, it's huge. Not just because of its size in numbers, but because of what it represents. It represents everything you endured without turning bitter. Every test you passed without out-seeking revenge. Every room you were overlooked in, and every table you were excluded from. All of it is part of this massive transaction happening in the spiritual realm. You didn't just survive, you stayed soft. You didn't just wait, you worshipped while waiting. And for that, God approved something that will silence every lie spoken against you. There's an energy moving now. You can't see it, but your spirit is picking it up. The people who doubted you are starting to feel uneasy. The ones who spoke against you are suddenly quiet. The atmosphere around you is shifting because God just signed off on something that is going to elevate you beyond recognition. And the transfer? It's not only financial. Yes, the funds are part of it, but this is also about influence, clarity, positioning, peace, and supernatural evidence that you are marked by something no man can replicate. Chosen one, there are moments in history that change everything. And not because the crowd understood it, but because God was behind it. This is one of those moments. Something large-scale is moving into your life. The kind of release that doesn't just fix a bill or cover an expense, but redefines the rest of your life. It's going to ripple through generations. It's going to shift how people see you. It's going to place you in conversations and contracts and confirmations that you couldn't have reached with your own strength. Don't look for signs in the noise. Look for the silence that comes when the heavens have already spoken. You're not in a waiting room anymore. You're in the fulfillment corridor. God's hand is already in motion. The transfer was not just granted, it was timed with strategic precision. There's an energy unfolding that's been assigned only to you. Others can watch it, but they cannot claim it. This is what it means to be chosen for a release that shakes the system. The magnitude of this transfer is so heavy that even the spiritual realm is reacting. It's why you've felt waves of emotion lately. It's why some people around you have shifted. It's why old situations suddenly feel unworthy of your energy. God is making room, not only externally, but internally. He's shaping your mindset, your speech, your posture, because what's coming requires more than a physical receipt. It requires a transformed identity, one who knows they've been stamped by the divine. You've seen enough small. You've tolerated enough delay. You've survived enough lack. And now, God is introducing you to what He's always had in mind. Not the discounted version, not the backup plan. The real thing, the version of your life that was written before anyone ever had an opinion about you. The version that exists beyond struggle. The one where your decisions are no longer made from fear, but from abundance. That's what's arriving, and it's huge. You were never meant to beg. You were born to command. And now, the shift begins. You'll notice how people start responding differently. You'll feel how doors don't just open, they welcome you. The energy you've been carrying is finally aligning with what heaven has approved. You've been walking with vision, but now you'll walk with manifestation. You've been sowing seeds, but now you'll gather harvests that others thought were lost. You are not stepping into a new level. The new level is stepping into you. Even the air around you is charged with more. It's not imagination. It's indication. The internal fire you've felt, the dreams that kept waking you up, the sense that something big is coming, all of that was a preview. And now the full release is here. You've passed unseen tests. You've endured without applause. You've held on to hope when nothing made sense. And because of that, God has chosen to approve something that will eclipse every ounce of suffering you endured to get here. This transfer will be spoken about. It will be noticed. It will be undeniable. Not because of its visibility to the public, but because of its supernatural weight. Even those who don't understand you will feel something when you enter the room, because what's upon you is not man-made. It's divine cargo. It's heaven-sent substance. It's the reward of spiritual integrity and unwavering faith. God is not giving you what you deserve. He's giving you what He promised. And when the approval came down, there was no debate, no argument in the spiritual court, no resistance left. Because what God approves, no one can deny. Not time, not people, not opposition. When God signs off, the earth must obey. And now, every delay, every detour, every distraction you faced, it's losing power. Because the divine delivery system has activated, and your name is on the label. Get ready. Your hands are about to hold what your heart has been prepared to carry. The transfer is en route, not just to touch you, but to transform everything connected to you. This is not just about your moment. It's about your lineage, your legacy, your lasting mark. God has approved it, and now everything is shifting to make room for what's coming. You may not fully see it yet, but something is moving behind the veil, something that has your name written into its very blueprint. And it didn't originate in a boardroom, or in a bank, or in any earthly system. It came from the throne. The release that's now shifting into motion was crafted by divine hands and timed by eternal clocks. This moment was held back, until you became the version of yourself who could carry what's coming. You weren't being denied. You were being prepared. And now the preparation is complete. This is what it feels like when divine timing touches Earth. This is what it sounds like when your name is spoken in places your feet haven't walked yet. The decisions are already made. The notifications are already ringing in the unseen. Angels have been dispatched. Pathways are aligning. And heaven is now unfolding the plan God always had for you. No longer on delay, but delivered. You've reached the moment when the waiting shifts into the witnessing, when the hoping turns into holding. Some things that used to matter to you suddenly don't anymore, and that's not confusion. That's God clearing the noise. That's Him filtering your attention, because your next level doesn't come with distractions. The conversations you used to entertain, the emotional loops you used to stay in, they no longer have permission to follow you. This transfer requires your clarity. It demands space. It was never supposed to land in chaos. It was designed to rest in peace, the kind of peace that only comes from being in alignment with divine approval. And yes, others will see the shift. Some will celebrate it. Others will question it. But it won't matter, because this move wasn't made by people, and it won't be managed by them either. It will be sustained by the one who authored your breakthrough in the first place. They didn't witness the nights you wept. They didn't feel the ache of holding on while everything seemed to fall apart. But God did. And that's why the transfer is coming with such unmistakable power, because it's backed by evidence. Proof of endurance, proof of faith, proof of obedience when nothing made sense. You're being elevated in such a way that even your former self won't recognize you. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you've stepped into the fullness of who you always were. The version of you that lives beyond survival. The version that walks in overflow. The version that's done settling for almost. There is a new strength inside of you, one that doesn't flinch when fear speaks, one that doesn't bow when pressure builds. This transfer is not just about the physical. It's about unlocking what was trapped in your spirit all along. Don't be surprised when certain doors swing open without you knocking. Don't be confused when people suddenly want to align with your vision. They're not seeing you. They're sensing what God just released in your life. The approval wasn't silent in the spirit. It echoed. It created a tremor that awakened connections, aligned favor, and summoned supernatural support. This is not you trying harder. This is the wind of God pushing you into position. Chosen one, your story is being rewritten in real time. What once felt like rejection is now revealed as redirection. What once looked like a delay was actually a divine deceleration, so you wouldn't arrive too early for something meant to be fully ready. You are not late. You are right on time. And now, the clock in heaven and the calendar on earth are in sync. The approval has created an open gate, and everything that was once locked is now being released. You'll begin to notice how quickly things begin to move. What used to take years will take weeks. What once drained you will now empower you. Because your energy has changed. Your frequency has risen. The burdens that once crushed you can no longer touch you. And the shift? It's undeniable. Not because of what you've done, but because of what God has decided. This is not hustle. This is harvest. You are stepping into what has been ripening while you healed. And make no mistake, this is not a repeat. This is not another cycle. This is the new, the approved, the upgraded, the transferred. There's no going back to how things were. Not because you burned bridges, but because God built you wings. You'll rise differently. You'll think differently. You'll move with precision instead of panic. Because the resources you need will find you, and the wisdom required will fill you. The transfer doesn't just come with things, it comes with knowing. A knowing that you are finally standing inside what God whispered to you long ago. There's a divine authority settling on your life now. You'll feel it in your posture, in your speech, in your presence. You'll no longer explain yourself to people who are spiritually unequipped to understand what's happening. You'll no longer chase validation. The transfer has brought with it a confirmation that is louder than any opinion and more permanent than any applause. You're walking in something eternal now, and what's eternal cannot be edited by temporary people. You've been under spiritual surveillance, not in a way to condemn you, but to protect what was being built in you. God watched over your name while others tried to bury it. He hid your value while others tried to diminish it. And now, He's doing what only He can do, revealing you at the exact moment of your approval. You won't have to fight to be seen. This transfer is your introduction. This moment is your announcement. And here's what's wild. You're not receiving just enough. You're being given more than enough. Overflow is the order. Abundance is the signature. Excess is not arrogance, it's strategy. Because God is resourcing you for more than your personal life. This transfer is about the lives connected to your assignment. The dreams you'll fund. The ideas you'll execute. The doors you'll open for others. This isn't just about you being blessed. It's about you becoming the blessing. That's why the journey took so long. That's why it felt like silence lasted forever. Because God was preparing not only the blessing, but the blesser. He had to build someone who wouldn't be broken by the weight of wealth. Someone who wouldn't hoard what was meant to flow. Someone who wouldn't shrink when the spotlight arrived. Someone who would carry the assignment with reverence, not ego. And now, He sees that in you. So don't be alarmed by the acceleration. Don't question the suddenness of the shift. You've been in alignment far longer than it seemed. The signs are catching up now. The manifestations are landing now. You are stepping into what was always yours, not because you demanded it, but because God designated it. The path you've walked was not in vain. The tears you cried were never wasted. Every seed, every sacrifice, every silent yes, it all counted. And now, it's all returning, multiplied. You were never forgotten. You were being finalized. And now that the final touches have been made, the signature has been stamped, the delivery has been approved, nothing can stop what's coming. The only thing left is for you to live inside the magnitude of what God just released. The next version of your life has already started. And it's everything you didn't give up on, even when it looked impossible. You've stepped into a spiritual current that cannot be reversed. What God has released will not be delayed again. You may feel the trembling in your soul, that quiet electricity that runs beneath your skin. That's not anxiety. That's alignment. That's the voltage of divine movement surging through your reality, letting you know you're not on the verge. You've crossed over. You're no longer waiting at the edge. You're already walking in it. And the shift is irreversible. This transfer was never meant to be small. Its magnitude matches the magnitude of your process. God didn't hold you back just to hand you something minor. He allowed the delay because the reward had to reflect the depth of your obedience. Every time you chose silence over revenge, every moment you walked away instead of fighting for validation, Every seed you planted, when it felt like your own soil was dry, God saw it. He recorded it, and He multiplied the outcome accordingly. What's coming isn't fair by earthly standards. It's overflow by heaven's calculation. You're going to feel it soon, not just in money, but in movement. Everything around you is going to start flowing. Conversations that felt stuck will begin to open. Plans that once collapsed will now resurrect with new power. You'll find yourself in places that once ignored you, not because you begged for access, but because God has placed something on you that cannot be overlooked anymore. You were always ready internally, but now the external world has been commanded to respond. This is not about sudden luck. It's about scheduled favor. God has waited for the exact second when everything could intersect with your presence in perfect form. It's not random that this is happening now. It's not accidental that you're hearing this message in this moment. The divine clock doesn't tick like the one on your wall. It moves in waves of instruction and layers of spiritual coordinates. And all of those coordinates have now landed on your name. The green light has flashed. The gate has opened. The file marked "Approved" has been sent. There are even things being prepared for you right now that you didn't pray for, because God knows you better than you know yourself. This isn't just a fulfillment of what you asked. This is the surprise part of the blessing, the portion that exceeds your faith, the gift that you didn't even know how to articulate. God is good like that, because His love for you isn't based on your articulation. It's based on your alignment. He responds to posture more than performance, and your posture has been one of trust, one of faithfulness, even in invisible rooms.